Does he still feel indebted to these dudes? Why, oh why, is this even a consideration? What happened to all that stuff that happened last summer? Like, it is so obvious that your boy Lionel Richie, aka Messi, should leave and Barcelona should allow him to leave because it is best for both parties. Messi, you want to win something else? You want to win a CL. If you want to win a CL, you ain't doing it at Barcelona because these guys have to sort out their finances. Barcelona, it's time to rebuild. Busquets is getting on. PK is class A. Iniesta, he's renewed his contract as freaking Vissel, Kobe and so forth, but Iniesta ain't there anymore, Xavi ain't there anymore, Villa ain't there anymore, Eto'o ain't there anymore, Daniel Alves ain't there anymore. You have to rebuild. Stop clinging on. Okay, sometimes you've got to put the cookie down. Sometimes you've got to let the donuts just lay there on the buffet because if you eat that cholesterol, and so, well, we've not heard. So again, news is coming in and so, but this is what we've not heard. Apparently, Laporta and Messi's dad, Jorge or George, they've had a verbal agreement. So apparently, these guys have had a verbal agreement about wanting Messi to remain at Barcelona. So what now needs to happen? Barcelona now needs to come up with the proper finances in order to keep him. So guys, do you see how this doesn't make any sense? You don't have the finances. And Messi knows how talented he is and he knows of his talents. So first off, it's not even a good idea to keep him from a footballing point of view in terms of you want to move forward and create a totally different team with a totally different identity. But financially, you've not even got the freaking cheddar. Okay, you guys are still in the freaking Super League, hoping to get the money from the Super League. Hence why you want to be in the Super League, because you obviously want to use that cash and cheddar to obviously fund keeping Messi in there. So Messi's contract expires on the 30th of June, and then the hope is that somehow somewhat of an agreement can be made. So the idea is, and this is reports coming through, is he's apparently going to be offered half, but over a 10-year contract, where he will now have a role after the club. So he will actually continue earning money after he retires, because obviously he's not going to be playing at like 43 or 44. So they want to pretty much keep him as an employee and as a face of Barcelona afterwards. Again, this is all about finances. It's so crazy where we are right now, because if we take the clocks back to last summer, it was obvious. If you take our clocks back to last summer, it was like, oh, like this dude is a goner. This dude is a straight goner. Like, there's no way that he's staying. And also, as we've seen this season, okay, may not have been as good as Messi's previous seasons, still been money. Homeboy is still dribbling guys. Homeboy is still scoring at FKs. Homeboy is still has a freaking technique. So he obviously has the ability and good enough to help a team win a CL. You put Messi in a Man City, you put him in a Bayern, you put him in a PSG. Oh my gosh, that will greatly help them. It's not going to hinder them. It's going to greatly help them. So I want to know that what's changed in Messi, and this just goes to like a character thing, because that guy that we saw make that interview in the summer, bro, that dude wasn't staying around. That dude we saw in the summer was not staying around here. That dude in the summer said, no, I want to win another Champions League, and I need to go to a place where I can win another Champions League. Now, what it does say here is the thing that is making, like, there is hope that he can stay, and they're now feeling that, they're a bit more upbeat of his chances of staying. But one of the hindrances is the fact of Messi still wants sporting assurances. And I think he's not really swayed from there. But my thing is, it shouldn't even be a consideration. Now, people say, okay, here's the thing. So people's idea was that, okay, he wanted to leave because of Bartomeu. And Bartomeu was the main issue. Bartomeu was one of the issues. He wasn't really the only issue. Yes, he was a big issue and so forth. They didn't like him. He felt betrayed and so forth. But it was also a combination of, it was that, and also I want to win a Champions League, and this team isn't good enough to help me win a seal. I'm having to do too much work. And he's now aware of the fact that he has to do too much work, specifically dating all the way back to the nightmare at Anfield, man. So you could say that, okay, it's Laporta now, and he believes that Laporta is a better sporting guy, better footballing guy, and has his ear for talent. Remember, this is the dude that brought in your boy Dino. So maybe with him in charge, he can then, okay, I can get Haaland. I can get Depay, Aguero. I'll talk about that separately. But my thing is, what is the likelihood that they get Haaland? What is the likelihood that Haaland chooses to join Barcelona? What is the likelihood of that? And my thing is, let's just say transfer window is gone. They get Aguero, they get the Depay, they don't buy a marquee player. Because Depay, Aguero are not marquee players. They don't buy a marquee player. Messi, do you still stay? Because Champions League, you need bodies. You can have the best manager in the world. You still need personnel. You still need quality players. Look at how long it has taken Pep to reach a CL final when he's had crazy amounts of money to spend. Champions League final, it ain't for kids. It ain't for kiddies, man. It is an extremely tough competition where you need to have high quality players. And trust me, Messi, I don't think he wants to keep on getting pimp slapped, Lara Crofted, Johnny Cage, Jimmy Cricket, and completely test tubed every single CL knock around. Because remember, these guys are now getting pimp slapped a lot earlier now. They're not even sniffing a flipping quarter or so forth. So basically, I never saw a scenario where this guy would stay. I always assumed that he's going to leave. Because are we not going to have a situation where Messi just, because he feels, does he still feel indebted to these dudes? That's what I want to know. Does he still feel that he owes Barcelona? That's, okay, they helped me with the whole, with my growth sport and everything and so forth, and what they did for me as a kid and so forth. I feel that I owe them. So I'm like, I would believe that you have paid them back in spades. I believe that you have done more than enough to pay these guys back. I mean, like, look, you have put these guys on the map. Hence why they're so desperate to keep you. Because obviously Laporta knows the ridiculous value that you have both on the pitch and off of the pitch. But my thing is, you could make an argument that Messi has been amongst the 5 best players in the world. You can make that argument. You can make an argument. Now, I wouldn't put in top 2, top 3 because Benzema, Lukaku, Diaz, they've done their thing. But you can make an argument. You can argue maybe he's his fit or so forth. So my thing is that you've seen Griezmann, he ain't it. I love views. He's my guy. Left foot, right foot, ambidextrous. He's got technique. He's not popped off this time. Go to it is go to it. We appreciate him. He's one of the best strikers of all time. But, he ain't it. What if the transfer rolls around, you don't get the players that you need, and just like they did with Pirlo, you get guilt stripped into saying that, oh my gosh, you mean so much to Barcelona, we cannot exist without you. Because he was sort of, he was guilt stripped into reversing his retirement. Remember all those video messages that were sent up like, oh my gosh, people cried, we need you back, you're my best player in the world, blah, 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 blah. And he was guilt stripped into now reversing his retirement decision, which he should have never even made in the first place. He should never even made that thing in the first place. But I just don't... Bro, Messi, you've got to grow some balls, bro. Because what I think this is, and this is what people have been saying on the hangout, and I've now been seeing it, is he doesn't want to step out of his comfort zone. He's grown used to Barcelona. So it could be a case that whatever Barcelona do in the summer, whatever they do, even if they still roll up with Go Twitter or some fruit seller from the road, Messi is still going to be there. They'll meet a Man City. They'll meet a Bayern. They'll meet a top team. And then they'll get ridiculed. They'll get chemical engineered like 7-0, 8-2 or 9-2 on aggregate, maybe in a single game. So for Messi, like, because it looks bad. I told you, Wikipedia is harsh. Wikipedia is black and white. Wikipedia doesn't give context. Wikipedia doesn't say, well, this whole 8-2 thing, you don't really have the right team, but Messi. No. Wikipedia just says you lost 8-2 in a single game. Wikipedia just says Mbappe put a 3-piece on you at the Camp Nou. That's what it will say. So Wikipedia has that. It's locked into Wikipedia. So if you stay here and these guys don't give you the proper support, but Laporta guilt trips you to saying, oh no, you're part of the tapestry, you're part of the fabric, you mean so much to this team. We're going to promise you millions and so forth and coerce you into remaining. Nothing can take away what you've done in your career. Nothing can, because you've had a stupendous, ridiculous, amazing career. But when you look at a career, you've got to look at the whole thing. So you look at all that amazing success and so forth. But you've got to look at Roma. You've got to look at Liverpool. You've got to look at 8-2. And you've got to look at PSG. Of you taking beatings and lashings. Look at Casillas. Casillas is still an amazing keeper. But his career isn't as great as Neuer, because Neuer, the story is quality and the story is still ending pretty damn good. Look at what he did last year. Casillas, it didn't end too pretty. End up in freaking FC Porto. Okay? So you want a career where it's a great story. Of course, there are going to be pitfalls and so forth, but you want it to where it's majority, it's a quality story. The way Messi's career is ending at Barcelona, it will be a hindrance towards you, bro. And we know our Copa America is coming this summer. Yes, okay. I'm trying to look for who's doing it in the UK. Premier Sports, what up, baby? Premier Sports, what up, baby? All right. So when we're looking at that Copa America, bro, I still say you're never winning it. 20. You had 3 bites at the cherry. 3 bites at the freaking cherry. But then let's see what you do in the summer. Let's see whether you can say what's up. Okay? Because now if you win that Copa America, now that changes the whole conversation. But so right now, you've not won anything with Argentina. Your Barcelona success has not been early, and right now it's looking ugly. It's looking ugly right now for you with regards to how things are operating right now, because I'm watching that Atletico game and these other games. It's a freaking one-man army. One man. It is one against 11. 1 against 11. So, like the vid, subscribe.